You pulled up to the pump, saw a bright yellow button for unleaded 88 that was 20 cents cheaper, and filled your tank. You thought you were getting a deal. You thought you were outsmarting the inflation that is eating away at everyone else's paycheck. Congratulations. You just pumped a chemical death sentence into your engine. The media calls it the clean fuel rollout. The government calls it an emergency waiver to lower prices at the pump. But your mechanic calls it guaranteed job security. Because that cheap gas you just bought is actively dissolving the fuel system in your older truck, your boat, your generator, and your lawnmower right now from the inside out. The most dangerous part of this rollout is how quietly it happened. You did not vote on it. You did not get a warning letter in the mail. The signs at the stations did not change overnight. The pumps just quietly added a new button, slapped a friendly blue or yellow label on it, and let human nature do the rest. They knew that in this economy, the working man is going to reach for the cheapest option. But the real scandal is not that the government approved a fuel that destroys older engines. It is that big auto and corporate dealerships are absolutely counting on it. Today, we are doing a forensic teardown of the E15 scam. We are going to look at the exact engineering reason this fuel bricks your engine, the predatory warranty trap waiting for you at the dealership, and how to spot the hidden blender pumps before they force you to scrap your reliable gear and buy an $80,000 smart truck. To understand the trap, you need to understand the chemistry. For decades, you have been running E10, a blend of 90% gasoline and 10% ethanol. Your older engines and small equipment were built to tolerate it mostly. It wasn't great, but it wasn't a killer. But bumping that blend from 10% to 15% crosses a critical, catastrophic engineering threshold. Ethanol is a harsh, aggressive solvent. More importantly, it is highly hygroscopic. In engineering terms, that means it acts like a chemical sponge, pulling moisture directly out of the humidity in the air. When you put E15 into a vehicle that gets driven 50 miles every single day, the fuel cycles through fast enough that the moisture doesn't have time to do its worst. But what about the equipment that sits? What about your backup generator, your riding mower, your outboard boat motor, or that classic Chevy Silverado from before 2008 you only drive on the weekends? When E15 sits in a tank for more than a few weeks, it reaches a saturation point. The water and the ethanol chemically bond together, separate from the actual gasoline, and sink straight to the bottom of your fuel tank. In the industry, this is known as phase separation. This creates a highly corrosive, waterlogged sludge resting exactly where your fuel pickup line sits. When you finally turn the key, your engine doesn't pull gasoline. It pulls a slug of water and raw ethanol directly into the combustion chamber. And that is where the mechanical autopsy gets ugly. Ethanol burns much hotter and leaner than pure gasoline. In a small, air-cooled engine like a chainsaw or a generator, that excessive combustion heat literally melts the internal components. It burns the exhaust valves, scores the cylinder walls, and completely ruins the engine's compression. But the damage starts long before the fuel ever reaches the combustion chamber. Pre-2008 vehicles and legacy small engines were built using specific, reliable materials: natural rubber seals, cork gaskets, neoprene fuel lines, fiberglass marine tanks, and aluminum carburetors. E15 literally dissolves these legacy materials. Modern cars survive because their fuel systems are lined with a high-tech fluoroelastomer called Viton, and their computer systems constantly adjust the air to fuel ratio to compensate for the junk fuel. Your older gear does not have that armor. When E15 hits an older aluminum carburetor, it triggers a process called galvanic corrosion. It creates a white, powdery aluminum oxide rust that clogs the microscopic jets. It eats the plastic floats. It attacks the older rubber fuel lines, causing them to swell, turn brittle, and flake off from the inside. Those black rubber flakes get pushed straight into your fuel injectors, blinding them completely. Your fuel lines turn into a brittle, leaking mess. Your engine starves for fuel, overheats, and dies. So, if E15 actively destroys equipment, why is it sitting at over 3,000 gas stations right now, disguised as a premium discount? The regulators will tell you it lowers emissions and helps the American farmer, but follow the money. Look at who actually benefits when your reliable gear dies. Big Auto has a massive multi-billion-dollar problem on their hands. You are not buying their new trucks. The American working man woke up. You realize that a new truck isn't a tool anymore. It's a fragile, disposable computer on wheels. It's packed with cellular trackers, hidden modems, subscription fees for heated seats, and impossible to repair twin-turbo engines designed to fail the day the warranty expires. You are holding on to your analog pre-2008 V8s because you actually want to own your vehicle. You want a machine you can fix in your own driveway with a standard set of hand tools. Automakers and private equity groups know they cannot legally force you to scrap your old truck. They cannot make it illegal for you to rebuild a carburetor. But if a new, heavily subsidized fuel mix silently destroys the fuel injectors and rots the seals of every analog machine on the road, that is not a tragedy for Big Auto. That is a highly profitable obsolescence strategy. They do not have to ban old trucks. They just have to poison their food supply. When your reliable daily driver finally chokes on phase-separated ethanol and the repair bill hits $4,000, you will finally break down and finance that new plastic smart truck they have been desperate to sell you. And don't think you're safe just because you bought a piece of equipment recently. This brings us to the most predatory part of the E15 rollout, the dealership warranty trap. Let's say you bought a brand new high-end riding mower, a marine outboard, or a commercial generator. You take it to the pump, you hit the unleaded 88 button to save a few bucks, and you fill the cans. 2 months later, the engine is dead. You haul it back to the dealership service center, completely confident because you have a 3-year manufacturer's warranty. The service tech doesn't even look at the spark plug. The very first thing he does is pull a fuel sample from your tank. He drops a testing chemical into the vial. If the vial shows an ethanol content higher than 10%, he walks back out to the waiting room, hands you the vial, and tells you your warranty is permanently void. Every single major manufacturer of small engines and marine equipment explicitly forbids the use of E15. It is printed in the fine print of your owner's manual. It is technically illegal under federal law to put E15 into a small engine, a boat, or a motorcycle. But the gas pump didn't stop you. The station attendant didn't warn you. The dealership let you make the mistake, and now they get to charge you $2,000 out of pocket for a complete fuel system rebuild. It is the perfect corporate crime, and the consumer takes 100% of the blame. So how do you fight back? How do you protect your gear and your wallet from a system designed to bankrupt you? First, you have to realize that you are being actively manipulated at the pump. Gas stations are not legally required to educate you. They slap a bright yellow unleaded 88 sticker on the button because human psychology associates the number 88 with a premium upgrade over standard 87 octane. Here is your survival list. The forever rules to keep your equipment running and out of the dealership service bay. Rule number 1, never trust the color of the pump handle and ignore the marketing names. Look strictly at the minimum octane rating and the microscopic fine print. If the button says 88, or if you see a tiny orange sticker that says up to 15% ethanol, walk away. Stick to standard 87 for regular or 91 for premium. Rule number 2, beware of the blender pump trap. A lot of modern gas stations don't have a separate underground tank for every grade of fuel. They use a blender pump, which mixes high ethanol fuel with regular fuel right there inside the machine to create the different octanes. Here is the danger. If the guy in front of you just bought 20 gallons of E15, there is still up to 1/3 of a gallon of that toxic E15 sitting inside the physical hose. If you pull up on your motorcycle, or you're just filling a small 1-gallon gas can for your chainsaw, and you hit the 87 octane button, that first third of a gallon going into your tank is straight E15. For a small engine, that is a lethal dose. If you are at a blender pump, either fill your truck first to flush the line, or take your business to a station with dedicated hoses for each fuel grade. Rule number 3, find the real stuff. If you want your small engines to last for decades, you need to locate recreational fuel. This is pure, 100% ethanol-free gasoline. It is usually labeled REC 90 or has a dedicated red handle at the pump. Yes, it costs more per gallon. But paying an extra $1 for ethanol-free gas today is infinitely cheaper than buying a new $800 carburetor next spring. There are entire websites and apps dedicated to helping you find stations that still sell pure gas. Use them. Rule number 4, if you are forced to buy fuel with any ethanol in it for your older gear, or if you do not have access to recreational gas, you must treat the fuel immediately. Do not wait until the end of the season. Keep a dedicated, high-quality enzyme fuel treatment in your garage. I am not talking about the cheap generic stuff on the bottom shelf of the auto parts store. You need a marine-grade stabilizer designed specifically to fight phase separation. These chemical treatments bond with the water molecules and keep the ethanol suspended in the gasoline so it cannot settle at the bottom of your tank and rot your metal. Treat every single gas can the moment you bring it home from the station. Competence is your only defense against a system designed to make you a blind consumer. The people engineering this rollout want your reliable, analog machines off the road. They want you trapped in a cycle of debt, forced to pay dealership labor rates, forced to accept software updates on a plastic truck you don't truly own. They want the era of the driveway mechanic to end. Don't let a 20-cent discount at the pump be the thing that cost you your independence. Read the fine print. Check your pump labels before you squeeze the handle. Protect your engines with the right fuel and the right treatments. And most importantly, share this knowledge. Send this video to anyone you know who still respects real machinery, who still drives an older truck, or who relies on their tools to make a living. The dealerships aren't going to warn them, so we have to. Subscribe to Industrial Decay, and we will keep exposing the engineering scams, the corporate loopholes, and the planned obsolescence they don't want you to see. Keep your gear running. Stay sharp.